Kia ora tātou. Now moving to the open session. As is our practice, we'll take items 1, 2 and 3 together. Item 1 is our apologies. And just checking, I thought that I saw a reference to Chris coming on, but I'm not sure that Chris is on with us. So either way, if our team can record any apologies. Declarations of interest, there's been an updated request for members to update their interests, so please work with the team for that so that those are up to date and complete. And also a confirmation of the minutes from Hui 52 that you've seen. I'm happy to move items 1, 2 and 3. Tony, can you second that please? Thank you. Is there any discussion on items 1, 2 and 3? All those in favour say aye. Against, abstentions, carried.
Aye.
Kia ora. To item 4, the Tūpuna Maunga Authority Q2 report. Kia ora, Nick.
Kia ora whānau. So I will take the report as read, and noting, of course, the highlights of the period were the opening of Te Ipu Kōrero a Maunga Whau and the Whau Cafe. We were able to receive funding for an approval for funding for an event for America's Cup in 2021, and we also had 3 Summerfield officers employed over the summer period, managed the peak period on the Tūpuna Maunga.
Kia ora, Nick. And can I open it up for questions or comments, please, on the Q2 report, if any?
I have a question, Nick.
Kia ora, Kathy.
Just the lovely road artworks. We had a discussion at the workshop earlier about art on Maunga Whau, and I think the road artwork has been commented on by many. I really, really like it. And you mentioned it in your report, and I saw from something that Mike George sent through that it was actually a picture of it was on, I think, one of the news sites, newsroom. Just catches the eye. Lovely. Who did it?
Audio, Nick.
So it was done through a company that was owned by mana whenua. So 2 of those members had connections to Ngāti Whātua or Kaipara, as well as to Marutuahu, and that was a road artworks company. And we consulted with a private art designer who utilised traditional Māori patterns to come up with those roadworks.
I'd love to see them everywhere else as well. It'd be wonderful. Are they expensive?
They were relatively cost effective. I don't have the figures on me at the moment, but we are looking at incorporating that type of thing where we have other capital works projects, in particular involving civil works.
Brilliant, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? I'm happy to move this item. Josephine, could you second this, please? Kia ora. All those in favour say aye. Against, abstentions? Carried.
Aye.
Thank you. That takes us to item 5, the Maunga Whau Tihi redevelopment. Kia ora, Liz.
Kia ora koutou. As Nick did previously, I'll take the report as read, but just note that it presents a concept for the tihi at Maunga Whau that presents it as a pedestrian space and a place where you can recognise the importance of the tihi.
Kia ora, Liz. So noting the fulsome discussion we had on this at the workshop and the point that Liz emphasised in terms of this provides a platform, if you like, for interpretive work and design, and also picking up us having further hikoi here. Can we open this up for discussion, please?
I guess, can I, through the chair, the hikoi, I guess, is limited by the level we're in during COVID. So, but I look forward to a future date for that.
Good, Alf.
Kia ora. And as a result, the recommendation that we're reading, is that now just to defer the approval until after the hikoi, just bearing in mind the work that's been done, which is no issue at all.
Yeah, so it's to proceed with it, but recognising there's going to be further discussion on this for the points that Liz covered insofar as this is the concept work that's proceeding.
Kapai.
One further comment I want to make on that. Liz mentioned that a Māori design would be considered later on. I feel that Māori design should be considered up front and built in, because there may be elements that we can build into the design there, not put on later.
Yes, and so it's really a timing thing. There's certainly no issue with that occurring. And again, with a hikoi and ongoing input by members, if there are suggestions, recommendations around the type of design, the folk involved, the team are very happy to receive that. Okay, I will move this item. Alf, can you second, please? Kia ora. All those in favour say aye. Against, abstentions? Carried. Thank you. Takes us to item 6, replacement appointment of member to Resource Management Rōpū. Kia ora, Dominic.
Kia ora tātou. Yes, the RMA Rōpū, a subcommittee of the authority, deals with consent matters and so forth, as you know. And there's a replacement person needed, and using on the basis of our previous policy, that would be one mana whenua member to join the chair, the deputy chair, and the Auckland Council appointed member. So if we, in this report, we seek a nomination for a person, a mana whenua person. Kia ora.
Kia ora, Dominic. So I'm happy to move this with the resolution being completed to add in Bernadette Papa as the appointment proposal. Zaylene, could you second that, please? Kia ora. Any further discussion? All those in favour say aye. Against, abstentions? Carried. Thank you. Takes us to item 7, the COVID-19 update. Kia ora, Nick.
Kia ora, Chair. So basically just reiterating that under level 4, we've undertaken a number of activities, closed down a number of activities on the Maunga, and put in a number of safety procedures, including locking all of the playgrounds, the water fountains, closing off some of our buildings, and keeping our Maunga closed during that period. Also noting that level 3 at this stage looks very similar to level 4, and all of the advice coming from the Ministry of Health is that recreational activities should remain at the same level that they are under level 4. And therefore we have opted to ensure that we have similar processes in place. So the Tūpuna Maunga, the gates will all remain closed, as will playgrounds and other infrastructure. What has started on the Tūpuna Maunga, though, is that we have started some extra work on the Maunga, in particular some of our capital works programs, as well as our pest control programs. That is constantly under review to ensure that our contractors, our staff, and the public are safe. And we monitor that on a weekly basis just to ensure that it's as safe as possible and in line with COVID-19 level 3 restrictions.
Kia ora, Nick. Any discussion on this item? Can I just say, Nick, in relation to the management team, can we express our thanks and support for a pretty challenging time in terms of being able to provide the care and protection for the Tūpuna Maunga remotely as best we can, along with our contractors on the ground. Challenges along the way. We've had examples of despite the best efforts in terms of, for example, making spaces on the Tūpuna Maunga safe. And so therefore the signage around playground equipment and the like, which in some cases hasn't been observed. And so it's been good to have the eyes and ears of our members of the communities helping our team by giving them feedback on that. And so I just want to pass on our thanks and appreciation. I'm happy to move this paper. Bernadette, can you second, please? Thank you.
Second.
All those in favour say aye. Against, abstentions? Carry. Thank you. Takes us to the registers, and this month's colour is forest green. I'm sure I put that wrong on the Rosine colour chart. So we've got 2 items on the Hui 53 health and safety matters. Are there any questions or comments on attachment A?
Yeah, I have a question, Paul.
Got it, Kathy.
Have you written to the Minister seeking a ban on public sale and use of fireworks on behalf of the Maunga Authority? If not, why not?
Sounds like a parliamentary question, Kathy. The short answer is no. That's not because of no intention to do something. The clear message we gave in terms of the priorities of the government during the level 4 restrictions especially was, having made the point clearly in the press release and the coverage, was to say when normal transmission resumes, whatever that is, level 2 or the like, we'll be looking to pick that up. We'll also be wanting to work closely with Auckland Council on this too, given the huge amount of work Auckland Council, including yourself and Council, have undertaken in terms of select committee. So we want to do that in a joined up way as much as we can to emphasise that from a Auckland approach and a Tāmaki approach, we've got some clear desires and expectations in terms of protecting the landscape of Tāmaki Makaurau. So that's the upshot, Kathy. And just while we're on it, it'd be quite good, we can do this offline, it'd be quite good to catch up with where the select committee process has got to. Don't need to do that now, but I just want to pick up that because we know the work that that you and the team have undertaken there. I'll do all these together. So we start with health and safety. The next one is events. So that's register B. And unsurprisingly, a number of cancellations there for the obvious reasons.
Paul, can I?
Could have.
Yeah, sorry, Paul, I really wanted to ask a question on the first one, the forest green, and in light of all Wairaka and that. What will we be putting in place to ensure, well, to hopefully ensure that we don't then get a repeat of the tents of anything else coming back post-COVID sort of 19?
There's a couple of things in there, Alf. One is, again, as Nick has mentioned, we're still under restrictions in terms of what the team can and can't do. So it's not completely open slather in terms of that. The second is that in terms of what those folk might do in terms of trying to re-establish a camp either in that area or across the Maunga, we can't stop things happening that we don't know are going to happen. But the one thing we can say is that, and Nick alluded to this, if you recall the photos that were taken after the tents were taken down, you would have seen some of the adverse effects that had occurred on that grassed area and the damage that had been undertaken there. The team is going to undertake some repair work there in terms of re-grass seeding the area and so fencing that off. So that's one step that's been taken there to restore the Maunga. Again, we can't stop folk doing what they're going to do if they're going to break the law again, but the team is very aware of that. They've got the contractors there. The police are on standby as best as we can arrange that.
What type of grass?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, just a question there, Nick. What type of grass? Could be some native sedges, some toitoi kakaho, poea weaving, toitoi whatumanu, e rā mea katoa?
So we are planting on that that particular Tūpuna Maunga, and I'm happy to have an offline discussion in terms of what types of plants that we've got going up there, but very happy to consider natives and sedges and the like. Noting, of course, that some of that work does require resource consenting, and in the very first instance, it's most likely to be basically rye, just to get us started. But yeah, happy to look at that in the long term.
We could shake some toi, like our tikanga teaches us.
Paul, I still hadn't finished, but look, can I just sort of put towards an idea that because of the damage that's been caused by them, and as a result of obviously the authority not wanting them to return, I wonder if a dialogue can occur between the police and Tūpuna Maunga Authority, namely with you, Nick, in regards to trespassing. I know this is it's a bit hard when you don't know the person's name, but I think a dialogue needs, because no way do I want to see them there. And we don't either, especially with the damage that they're causing and the damage that I have no doubt at all that they will cause. So some dialogue, if that's possible, to happen, Nick, through you, Chair.
Kia ora. So we touched on events, and also there's the media register. Are there any questions or comments on any of those registers?
Yeah, I have a question, Paul, on the media register.
Kia ora, Kathy.
I'm like you, I was horrified by the graffiti vandalism on the toilets and its racist undertones. Have the police made any headway on their investigations with regard to that?
I'll pass it on to Nick.
Not as far as I'm aware.
Do we have any cameras on Owairaka, and is there any intention to have a camera at the entrance?
We are currently looking at CCTV options for Owairaka.
Thank you.
Kia ora.
Kia ora, Chair. Look, again, I know I sent an email through, but if I can sort of help in any way around any comments, especially in light of that, and I support your comments that were made, Chair. Please let me know as a council elected member, but also the deputy chair, because no, it's just disgusting what they're doing. Attending the hui that we did at Owairaka even showed even more ignorance from my perspective, listening to them. So look, any joint release and me condemning and supporting any comments that you make, and that of the authority, I will be happy to do so. Just wanted to table that, Chair. Thank you.
Kia ora. If there's no further discussion on the registers, I'll move that item. Dennis, can you second that item, please? Yep. Kia ora. All those in favour say aye. Against, abstentions, carried. Thank you. Kia ora whānau, that brings us to an end of our hui. Thank you for your patience in navigating the video technology. And Dennis, whakakapia tō tātou hui koa.
Nā tikana me mutu tēnei ki waha me te karakia me re ia tāpia tātaka tō te atapa i tō tātua ari kia i whareiti, te aroha o tātua, te whiwhira te hitama ki te wairua tapu, ake ake. Amen.